I absolutely love free motion embroidery, and I want to show you a few little tips that I've picked up along the way. And I'm just going to show you how to make these Christmas baubles here. I'm also going to show you our move from Cosgrove. We're going to go through a lock, over an aqueduct, and show you part of the industrial side of the canals. So come on in, the fire's on, and let's get started. I'm going to use this instant applique by Wonderful. I got this at H&H Chicago, and I haven't really used it properly. So this is what it looks like. It comes on the roll, and this is sticky on both sides. So you unfold it here, unroll it here, and I don't know if you can see, but that is sticky. It's got a sticky finish to it, and it's double-sided. So it means that you don't need to get your iron out, which is brilliant for me, being on the little boat. For the baubles, I chose these 4 5-inch squares from a charm pack that I got, and I think they look quite Christmassy, so I'm going to use those. But let me just tell you a little bit more. Let me just fold this, put this down because it's a bit curly. It's a light double-sided adhesive, which means that I don't need to use the iron, which is quite important being on the boat. The less I have to use the iron, the better, because I have to go outside, put the engine on the other boat, run an extension lead and all that jazz, and yeah, it just drives me nuts. So I thought I would have a little bit more of a play with this. So it's adhesive on both sides, and the other thing is that you can put it through the inkjet printer. I'm not sure how that works actually, so we'll just leave off on that for the time being. I'm going to do some raw edge applique with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to draw my designs on the back. This paper is rather shiny on the back, so I've just used a pen there just to show where my fabric sits, so I don't draw over the wrong piece of fabric. So I don't know if you can see there, I've tried drawing that on with pencil, but you couldn't really see it. So I've used the friction pen, which, yeah, I'm still not sure about it, but it's given me enough of an outline so I can see where to cut. Okay, so there's my first bauble. That's going to look so cute. I think I need to find a better pen to draw this with going forward, but for now it'll do. If anybody's got any ideas on better pens that will work, please pop them in the comments below and share them with us. So there's 2 baubles so far. Let's see what else we can do. So for this next one, I'm going to just do it a little bit differently because I want to make sure that we are getting the same design on both sides. So I'm folding it in half there. I'm just freehanding this, which I don't feel that comfortable with, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. So this time I'm going to cut through both sides. And we might have to do a little bit of fettling once we open it up, see what it looks like. Oh, that's turned out pretty good actually. So we've got 3 there now. I've decided to use a light pink background because I think that these are all going to look great on here. That one looks a bit like a carrot, doesn't it? Not like a bauble, but we'll sort that out. Now, I did have to dig deep. I have put some stitch and tear on the back. I don't know what brand it is, and I only had a bit left. So I adhered that to the back with 505, a temporary adhesive spray. And the reason that I've done that is because I need that extra stability when I'm going to be doing the free motion embroidery or the raw edge applique, whatever you decide you want to call it. So let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've got our fabric prepped, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line across here like a branch and have these sort of hanging down Just got to get them in the right place. So I think we'll adhere these in place first. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of the first one. You can see you've still got the backing there, just taken that off, and you can see the stickiness of the instant applique paper. So let's go that way. Let's get it the right way first. So let's put that one in first. And oh, that's so easy to use. Let's get this one off. Again, there's the back. This really saves me having to go and get the iron out. And then I found this snazzy gold fabric. So I'm just going to make cut some little tops out for the top of the baubles. So they look great. I'm just going to peel the backs off and stick them in place. I think I'm going to have a branch coming in sort of over here. Oops, luckily that iron's off. And we'll embellish that a lot more once I've got these stitched down and we can see what they look like. Before I go to the sewing machine, you can see here that I've sketched some lines onto the baubles with my friction pen. They're just to give me some guidance for when I do actually start sewing, and then I can apply a hot iron to the finished piece and they'll disappear. Before we even start stitching, we need to get our sewing machine ready. So we need to lower the feed dogs and we need to get the right foot. So I like to use a darning foot. So there's two with this machine, which is the Janome 9480. This is the closed toe one, which I'm not going to use. And this is the open toe one, which I am going to use. So I'm just going to pop that on first. And make sure that the feed dogs are down, because that's really important so you can move your fabric around. I've lowered the feed dogs. We've got the open toe darning foot on. I've got my quilting gloves on, because this really helps me with moving the fabric around with ease without putting pressure on my hands and my wrists. I've got the needle in the centre. I've got a black thread in the top and the bobbin, and I've got an Aurifil thread in, and it's 50 weight. So now we're going to get started. I'm lowering down the presser foot. So I'm going to bring the needle down just to make sure I'm happy with where that is going to start. And I'm going to do the outline round here first. Don't be afraid to stop and move your hands. I don't worry about moving my fabric around. Some people say, don't do it. You need to be able to free motion in just one direction. Me, I'll do whatever is easiest for me. I'm going around this twice to give it that sketchy feel. And actually, I'll probably go around it even more than that. So I'm just going to secure this little gold top in place. If only it was this quick to sew in real life. I'm just going to add some fun little free motion embroidery stars onto this bauble. I'm going to continue stitching around each bauble. And don't worry, I'm not going to show you every single one that I've stitched. I'm happy with my stitches, so now I'm just going to stitch along the branch at the top that I made with a friction pen earlier on. I'm stitching over this twice again to give it that sketchy look. I'm adding in the bits of string for them to hang off the branch, and then we're nearly finished with the free motion embroidery. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. I love free motion embroidery, and at the start of the video you can see that I've now made this into a cushion cover. I really want you to love free motion embroidery as much as I do, so if you've got any questions, please just ask. That's all the sewing done. Let's move on to boat life. It's time for us to move again. We have to move every 2 weeks, which is a condition of our licence to be what's called continuous cruisers. That's really tight down there.
I know it is. You'll do it, you'll do it. It's on your boat.
We're leaving our mooring, and it is a lovely mooring here, but we're ready to move on. So Mr. Perks is on the little boat, and he's decided to record me on this first stretch.
She's done it. Say hooray, Tracy. Very well done. And there's our friends who'll catch us up tomorrow.
We're chugging through some beautiful countryside. We're just coming up to the little village of Cosgrove, which is a proper canal village. As you come into Cosgrove on the canal, you can see this beautiful ornate bridge that we're going under. This bridge is known as Solomon's Bridge. It's probably the fanciest bridge on the Grand Union Canal. When the canals were being built, the canal company needed extra land, and they negotiated with the landowner. And the landowner only agreed if he could build a fancy bridge. We've only got one lock to go through on this trip, which makes life a little easier with 2 boats. The boats are breasted up, so that means that both boats are side by side. You can't quite see the little boat in this shot. For quite a few years I used to do all the locks, and Mr. Perks used to bring the boats into the lock. But we've had a change in roles now. My COPD, sometimes I get out of breath doing the locks because they are pretty heavy and very physical to do, so it's easier for me to move the boats, and Mr. Perks is he's pretty fit. I just helped my sister-in-law go through the lock before us, so she's now helping us do the lock. So you can see here that the paddles are up to let the water out so the boats can go down to the next level.
All right, Tracy.
We're coming up to the aqueduct just outside Cosgrove, and I normally go in, and I'm being really brave because I am terrified of heights. But we're not going to come over this way for a bit, so I'm just going to show you this and try not to cry. So on this side here, there is a walkway and a railings. This goes over the river. But look, on this side here, there's no railings, there's nothing, and I'm trying to keep my eyes open. Phew, we did it. And there's a boat coming the other way. Right, I'm going in now. We're coming into Wolverton now, and I thought you'd like to see this mural. This was painted originally by Bill Billings in 1984. Runs along the old Wolverton Railway Works wall, and it's about 160 metres long. It has scenes celebrating Wolverton's railway heritage. I hope you've enjoyed this little canal trip with us. When we finally got to our destination, which was about 5 hours later, it was pitch black, so not always great cruising in the dark. I'll see you next week for more sewing and quilting stories.